Clap, clap, clap your hands, clap, clap, clap your hands, clap, clap, clap your hands. Oh, hello there. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you've noticed, but this video is an hour long. It's because it's not like a normal video. It is pretty much unedited. It's just me talking kind of in the form of a podcast. And that's why it's really long. And also, it's a podcast. If you want the audio-only version of this, you can go down to the link below and listen to this as a podcast on Spotify. That's right, I started a podcast. It's very exciting. At the point when I was filming this, I didn't know I was starting a podcast, and now I have one. Crazy world. But yeah, you can go listen to my podcast. I now have 2 episodes and a trailer out, so you should go check it out. Thank you. And I hope you like podcasts. There'll be a new good video coming soon. So, goodbye. Okay. Ooh, I need a stretch. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a dog right here. I don't know if you can see it, but she's right there. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, my name's Luke. I haven't posted a video in 3 weeks. That's crazy. That's wild. I'm so bad at YouTubing. Wow. But today I'm back. I have blonde hair now. I have boba. And I also have this sandwich from a place called Board and Brew. And I'm very excited for both of those. But what I'm more excited for is this video. Am I right? Drop a like down below for that. Today's video is going to be different. It's probably not going to be fun, probably not going to be exciting. This video is just going to be podcast style. That's kind of the vibes I'm feeling. Podcast style. It might be really long. I don't know yet. I'd be okay if it's really long, but we're just doing a podcast style video today. If that's not your vibe, I'll be back again at some point with a better, more exciting video. But yeah, so if you like me, then this will be good for you. If you don't like me, you will not enjoy this video. But today I'm giving advice because I'm qualified. That's right. Me, a 17-year-old boy who has experienced so much life and is really aware and very intelligent. Me, I will be giving you advice. I asked you on my Instagram what you needed advice on, and I got some responses, so I'm gonna be giving advice. Yeah, I don't know, this is gonna be fun for me. Really, I'm just here because I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos that got me all emo and in my feels, and now I want to be in my feels, and that's okay, and I need you to respect that. But before we get started, we're going to get a little bit more comfortable. Perfect. We've got a sandwich here. We've got our special sauce. Boba. Let's just get into it. Let's just start vibing. I'm so excited to be here. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's start with pets don't like me. Help. Honestly, dude, if pets don't like you, it probably means that you're a psychopath. I think it goes both ways. If I know someone who dislikes pets or pets dislike them, specifically dogs. If someone does not like dogs, and I have a specific person in mind, but if they don't like dogs, I'm sorry. You're just a bad person. That's just how that works. It's fine. Now, if you prefer cats over dogs, I mean, that is kind of a red flag, but it's not as bad as someone who's like, I hate dogs. If you hate dogs, I'm sorry, we cannot be friends. move along. I've been in that position where a pet doesn't like me at someone's house, and so when I go over to their house and their pet doesn't like me, I honestly forget about the person whose house I'm at. I completely shift my focus to getting that pet to like me. I do whatever it takes to get them to enjoy my presence. So that's my advice there. It's of utmost importance that you get the pet to like you, because that defines who you are as a person. So, do with that what you will. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is a big one that I get asked a lot on TikTok. If you don't know, I have a TikTok account, and I have some followers on there, and that's why anyone asks me questions. Anyway, TikTok fame, it's crazy. Anyway, anywho. On TikTok, I say my whole thing is I'm the coming of age teen, angsty teen, whatever. That's my whole shtick. So I get asked a lot, how do I fulfill my coming of age goals, dreams? How do I be an angsty teen? Couple of things. One, I think sometimes the expectation, and this happens for me a lot, the expectation of living in a coming-of-age movie gets in my own way. I kind of expect too much, so then when those expectations aren't reached, I get really disappointed and I get discouraged, and I think I'm like losing the potential that I have. It's one of those things where I feel like I'm losing time, and if you put too much pressure on living out your coming-of-age movie, then you'll miss out on a lot of legitimate experiences that you'll have. Does that make sense? It's like if I put too much pressure on being spontaneous, then I'm gonna actually miss the moments where I am spontaneous. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? But just general advice on like how to how to live the coming of age movie. I would just say do stuff, like try a lot of new things, whatever it is. I know for me, I get nervous when I get asked to like do something, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to like do this with this person because I don't know them that well, or like I get nervous because I don't know, it's the kind of anxiety part of it where it's like just nervous to go and do a new thing with new people. But I think the biggest thing I can say is just like push that away and just like, I don't know, it's the whole thing of like being confident for like 5 seconds. You just need 5 seconds to say like, yes, I'll be there, whatever. And then once you say that and you commit yourself, then it's like you do that thing, and it always ends up being worth it. But I don't know if that's a common thing, but I definitely get anxious about doing new things with new people because I'm like nervous about it. I don't know. I'm just super qualified to be giving this advice. But on that note, I also get asked a lot, how do you make friends? How do you have such a tight, close friend group? How did you do that? My advice there, so there's two different types of friends, I'd say, and this is like very general class. There's even deeper classes within that, but my first like 2 years of high school, I was really, really good at kind of being friends with everyone at a distance. So I was really good at getting like a lot of people to like me, but not really like hang out with me, and I got really, really sick of that. Like by my junior year, which I'm a junior now, therefore qualified. By my junior year, I was really, really sick and like tired, like physically exhausted of being someone who's really entertaining to people or like really good at putting an effort to entertain or get people to like me kind of thing. I was just constantly the person that was like asking to hang out or asking to like do this thing. I was the people pleasing aspect of it kind of came into play there, but I was just very into getting everyone to feel good, which is a good thing. People pleasing is good. It's good to make people happy until you're exhausted of it and you can't be happy yourself, that's where it becomes problematic. I'm not saying I stopped making people happy. I like making people happy, but I was in a place where I wasn't getting anything put into me, sort of thing. Felt like every time I was like pushing and putting everything out, but then I was just left kind of empty. You know that whole thing? You gotta make sure your cup is filled before you can start filling others' cup. Anyway, come my junior year, I don't know. I started to make friends who I was starting to get really close with. A lot of them were like seniors, because I've just always been friends with the class above me. That's since like I moved out to California, I was just friends with people in the class above me. It's probably because I'm really mature and that 1 year difference really matters. That was a joke. I am very much not mature. But yeah, anyway, I started to get close with people. I don't know what changed. I think I just started to, I don't know, this sounds kind of aggressive, but I started to like cut off people who weren't good for me. And those people aren't bad people, and I love those people, but I definitely stopped putting in as much effort to, I don't know, fix those people or keep those people pleased with me, because they weren't very good to me. And I started like pursuing. I like worked really hard to get the friends that I have now. Like I put in a lot of effort, and I like pushed myself a lot to feel comfortable. Just like, I don't know. I used to get like a like really uncomfortable asking to do things kind of thing. I know this is kind of the opposite of what I said like 45 seconds ago. But I don't know. I used to get really uncomfortable. Like I thought I was always intruding, but with like specific people that I really wanted to be friends with, because I saw that they were genuinely good people, I like worked really hard to push myself there and get to know them. Biggest tip I've ever gotten on how to get people to like you: if you want people to like you, ask them about themselves. People love talking about themselves. We're all selfish. I'm selfish. That's why I make YouTube videos where I talk about myself for like an hour. But yeah, people like talking about themselves. So if you just ask people questions, and I know it's scary sometimes to like ask those questions because you feel like, I don't know, it's uncomfortable to initiate conversation. But if you get people talking about themselves, oh baby, they love it. They love it so much. It's simple psychology. People like talking about themselves. Ask them about themselves. Another thing, if you, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you know how you've heard the thing of like, if you want people to like you, repeat the things they're saying. I used to get always confused about that, because it's like, do I just repeat back the words that they say? But here's the thing I found. The way you get people to like you, or like the way you get into a group, is you almost make, you know, inside jokes. How there's like, especially in middle school, I remember like having inside jokes being a big thing. It's like, and then there's another person there, and you're like, oh, sorry, it's an inside joke. Inside jokes are the repeating thing. So if you like go through an experience with someone or like a group of people, if you just bring back that experience and like talk about it and like make it a joke, that's the repeating things that like makes people feel like you have a stronger connection. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? That's what I've learned. People really like having those like inside jokes and those like references. So if you just like make those and like make it a thing, boom, you're set. You're straight chilling. I think I talk a lot with my hands. It's something I'm realizing as I'm giving this super qualified advice. On the note of friends, and this is just the only reason I'm talking about this is because it's what I'm kind of going through right now, or like experiencing right now. I have a tendency to be like super insecure in friendships. So I think like whenever people talk about relationships, they usually talk about like romantic relationships, but I don't really have a lot of those. So for me, the big thing, and I think something that is often overlooked, is like the effort it takes to be in a friendship. But I am someone who gets really insecure in friendships. It's just happening right now. I don't know why. I think it's quarantine and coronavirus and stuff, so I'm just generally stressed, but I get like really anxious and insecure about friendships, thinking like, I don't know, I have really, really good people around me, but my brain is still trying to trick me into thinking that, you know, they don't like me, or like they're just putting up with me, you know, that whole feeling. I don't know what advice I have to give on that, because that's something I need advice on, because it definitely gets in the way. When you're like insecure about those things, it makes you act weird around those people. And it's just a bummer. It's a bummer to like consistently be insecure about those things. Especially in like new friendships. I don't like that I get insecure. For example, like I said, a lot of my friends are a year older, so all of them are graduating this year, and I'm starting to make new friends who are my grade. That way I'll have friends next year. Otherwise, I'll be by myself. But I have some really, really good people that I really enjoy being around who are my friends. And that's very cool. But for some reason, my brain starts tricking me into thinking that those people don't want me. And it's just my brain, and I know that maybe it's not. Maybe they could just not like me. Well, I don't know. Okay, this was an unsatisfactory answer to that question. My apologies, moving on. How to talk to girls. I don't know if I'm the person to ask this. I am, you know how people get friend zoned? I like consistently get the like little brother zoned. I don't know if it's my vibes or what. I'm really good at talking to girls, but usually not in a relationship capacity or a romantic capacity. It's very problematic in my life. Let me tell you that. Being friends with a lot of girls is stupid. I hate that I do it. I'm really good at being friends with girls, but then they see me as a friend and a little brother, and then it's really hard to like get out of there, and then they start asking you advice on boys, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I can help. I don't know. It's not fun. It's fine. I love people, but little brother zoned is not a fun spot to be in. Let me tell you that. It's really hard to be there. So my advice to talk to girls. Oh gosh. I don't have a lot of guys that watch my videos, I don't think. So I don't know if this is super necessary. Advice to talk to girls is my advice to talk to anyone. Just ask them about themselves. This is for any people. Get them to talk about themselves and they will love you. Everyone likes talking about themselves. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. And it shows that you care. And be a good listener. People love. I like listening. I like talking and like conversing. Is conversating a word? Conversing. I have no idea. Anyway, yeah, just talk. Just talk to people. I don't know. If you're trying to get a girl, I'm not the person to ask. I do not know how to do that. I'm so bad. Well, the thing is, I'm too self-aware, so I'm not good at the, like, flirting. I'm not good at flirting. I'm just not. I don't get it. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm not that straightforward with my feelings, and, I don't know. I just don't get it. It feels super awkward and cringy to me, and I don't know how to get past that feeling. So if you have some advice, drop it in the comments down below. Hey, what's up, you guys? Drop it down in the comments down below. Next question, or next advice. Yeah. I am an advisor. I thought of that today. I'm an advisor. I don't know if that's a word, but I am making it one. Pretty funny, pretty silly. How to do YouTube if you're unmotivated. I don't know, dude. I wish I could tell you. I film so many videos and then I just do not want to edit them because I hate them and they're stupid and it's fine. I'm really bad at YouTube. Apologies. But I don't know. Just do it. I guess that's the best advice I could give. Yeah, just get down to it. If you're like, I don't know, I've never really been embarrassed about making YouTube videos. Because it's like, if you're making stuff that you like to make and you think is quality, then you should be proud of it. You know what I mean? Like, I try to work pretty hard to make stuff that I like and I think is quality. And if other people don't think it's quality, get out of here with that. None of that. It's ridiculous. Psh. None of that. Okay. Next. How to deal with people who have big egos. I think this is an interesting advice. What do you call, like, so if I'm giving advice, what are they giving? A question? I don't know. Anyway, how to deal with people with big egos. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. When people are like, what's your pet peeve? It's like, I don't like people who have big egos or think they know everything, or I don't know, think they have to prove themselves to me. That's my big problem with it. If you're confident, that's fine. If you're like proud and whatever, that's sick. Cool. Good for you. But if you like feel like you have to like prove your worth to me by like spitting out a bunch of facts or spitting out that you like know this person, and I don't like that. You don't have to prove yourself to me. You don't have to, just be yourself. Just be here, and you can sense confidence, You don't need it to shout it out. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Anyway, dealing with big ego people, I like to just be very blatantly, like, not confused, but I like to be honest. A lot of times, like, people with big egos like to just spit out a bunch of facts and say all these names and like drop all these technical names and stuff, and whenever they do that, I'm just like, what is that? And that's something that I think so many people are afraid of. Like, in conversation, they're just kind of like, yeah, for sure. And I was, but now if there's someone who like says all this technical stuff and starts talking about this stuff, I'm like, what is that? One, I do this so that I can genuinely learn, because like I don't know a lot of things, and when I learn new things, it's cool. But two, it like shows the person that like I don't really care what you I don't know. It's like, you don't have to prove yourself to me. It's okay to be stupid. I like being stupid because it means I can learn new things. With people with big egos, it's just kind of like when, how there's like kill them with kindness. It's like, if someone's being mean to you, just kill them with kindness. If someone has a really big ego, just kill them with humility. Just be like really frank be very humble. Just show that you are humble, and then they'll kind of realize they don't have to prove themselves to you, or maybe they won't, and in that case, who cares? I don't care about that person. That's just annoying. But yeah, just be frank about not being as smart as they are. I don't know. That's my biggest advice. I like having those conversations. I also like with those people, like, I joke a lot, and like, don't do it in a mean way. That's just mean. I don't try to like bring them down a peg, but it's one of those things where I try to make them feel more comfortable, just like being themselves. Because a lot of times the people who have big egos are actually just really insecure, and they feel like they have to prove themselves. So that's what you prove, that they don't have to sell themselves to you. You know what I mean? You just like joke around with them, make them feel comfortable, and also just like show them that you're stupid, and then they slowly start to realize that they don't have to be so insecure. They don't have to prove themselves. They can just be a person who knows stuff but doesn't have to throw it in your face. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's my advice. Woo! Okay, next, advice question of advice. How to not be sad. A lot of people ask me, like, how are you so positive all the time? How are you not sad? Or how do I not be sad? And all this stuff. And I feel like I'm pretty open about how I'm not happy all the time. Because I feel like that was kind of a movement like a little bit ago about creators being more vulnerable about their emotions. I don't like to be like annoying about how I'm like constantly, sad or whatever, because I still like to make happy stuff. But I think I'm pretty frank about being sad. But I don't think sad's being, I don't think I don't think being sad is inherently a bad thing. I think when it turns into something bad is when it prevents you from living life for an extended period of time. Do you know what I mean? That's where I think it turns into like depression, where it's something that prevents you from living your life normally, or it's like debilitating. Is that a word? What does rehabilitation? So if it's debilitating, I don't know. If it starts to get in the way of living life, that's when it becomes a problem. And when you're sad, obviously it's going to make you feel less motivated, maybe burnt out, and you're not going to be able to like do your homework and stuff. But I don't know. If you can figure your way out of that sadness and like just talk to someone about it. You know, if you're me, you talk to a camera or your phone. That's what I do. You know, a weird thing I've been doing lately? I go on TikTok live streams because I'm a TikToker. I really like saying that now. Even though I'm not like that famous on TikTok, I like to say that I'm a TikToker because it sounds super cool. And whenever I say it, people really think I'm cool. Anyway, I haven't eaten my sandwich at all. Recently, I've been going on TikTok lives and just like talking about my feelings. I've been in a majorly bummer mood recently. It's kind of a new thing. And I know for me, whenever I get like a wave of sadness, it feels like all that time that let me see if this makes sense. When I get sad and fall into like a wave of sadness or whatever, it feels like all of that time before that I was happy wasn't real. Does that make sense? I start to invalidate the like happy times. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I've actually always felt this way. I've just been trying to cover it up. And that's like a place that is kind of scary because then it feels like there's no hope. You know what I mean? So with that, I would just say, and I'm trying to remember the good times as authentically good. You know what I mean? Because when I get all down on myself, it's easy to be like, I was never actually okay. I was never actually happy or content with life. But I know that that's not true deep down in my heart. So I would say, one, try to remind yourself of that, but also talk to people about that. And I haven't. I don't know. I get really intimidated to talk about real emotion stuff with real people, which is weird because I'm a pretty vulnerable person, like a pretty sensitive, in my feels type of person. But it's scary to talk to real people about that because sometimes they respond not in the way that you want. That's why I like to talk to a camera, because you're not allowed to respond right now. At least like comments and stuff, it's like I can read later. I don't know. It's kind of that fear of invalidation, like you're going to say something and they're going to be like, that's stupid. And some of it is stupid, and sometimes you do need to be told it's stupid. But sometimes you're just like, no, that's just how I feel, and if that's okay, then thanks. Anyway, what was the question? How to not be sad? Be sad. It's okay to be sad as long as you are aware of it. I find that whenever I come out of being sad, I am making the best stuff that I've ever made. Like, I'm being the most creative I've been. I'm also more grateful. I think that's a skill I want to work on, but coming out of being sad and like starting to feel happier again, I want to grow an appreciation for that. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like the whole thing when you're sick. You know, when you get like a runny nose, this happens to me all the time. I'm like sick all the time, not in the summer, but throughout like fall and winter, I'm just sick all the time. And whenever I get a runny nose for like weeks and weeks on end, I'll just be like, I'm the kid in the class who's like going to blow their nose every like 4 minutes. And you're like, shut up, just sit down and be quiet. That's me. And so whenever I am in that time, I'm like, man, imagine what it's like to not be sick and to not have snot constantly coming out of my nose. That must be so nice. And then I finally get unsick. I get cured. I get healthy. And I kind of forget to be grateful for the way I'm feeling now. Like right now, I can breathe. And I should be more thankful for that because I know what it's like to not feel that way. You know what I mean? That's kind of a simple example of this, but I feel like when I'm happy and when I'm like surrounding myself with people I love and like laughing and doing all those coming of age teen things, I want to be more grateful, I guess, more aware of the good times. And I think I'm getting better at that, and I think making videos is helping with that because I'm capturing the moment and I'm hyper aware of what's going on just to get like a shot. I don't know. I know that I'm going on so many tangents. I don't care. This is my podcast. If you hate me, that's fine. I don't care if you whatever. Anyway, I know there's a thing of like like filming things or like vlogging or whatever prevents you from living in the moment. But for me, a lot of times it pushes me to live more and like do more stuff. Because I don't know, because I know not even for the content or for the views. I always like say the joke of like, it's for the views, it's for the content, but it's a lot of it's for the kind of memory's sake. Like my Yosemite video, I really pushed myself to make friends, because I was like, this is going to be a good arc for the movie. But then it also pushed me to have like a lot of growth in myself. And like random TikToks and stuff. It's like, I want to do something exciting because it's a good video, and it's a really good way to like get myself out of my shell and also get myself out of my room to like go and do stuff because I want to make this TikTok and I want to make something cool. I don't know. It's not always for the views because I don't really understand what gets views and what doesn't get views, and I don't know. I don't know how to be viral or whatever. But I would say like making videos pushes me to live more, if that makes sense. I do sometimes like decide like I'm not going to be filming for a TikTok today. I know, tough decision, tough life I live, I'm aware. But I'll just be like, no TikTok today. I'm going to be one with myself. But yeah, how to not be sad. What an answer that was. How long have I been filming? 35 minutes. I am okay with putting out a really long video that's podcast style. I really, really want to start a podcast. I like talking about random stuff for an extended period of time. So if you like this, if you've made it this far, 1, let me know if you like it. 2, let me know if you put this on kind of in the background as like a podcast, because that's what I do with podcasts. It's like in the background while I'm doing other stuff. And it would be very cool if anyone liked this, because I really want to start a podcast. Sorry. Anyway, how to not be sad? Be sad. That's my advice. Honestly, I feel like most of my advice I've given isn't even advice. It's just me talking about my own issues and having unsatisfactory answers. So if that's upsetting to you, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to tell you. This is it. This is all you're getting for advice from me. And I don't know. It's just the place I'm in right now. I'm just in a bummer mood lately. I don't know why. I don't know what the heck started it. But here we are. I'm glad to be here. So next advice question. How to get over someone who's in love with someone else. No comment. That sucks. That sucks a lot. Because it's like, it's like heartbreak without even starting something, you know what I mean? And this goes for like any situation where you really like someone, but then something prevents you from being with them. It's weird because it's heartbreak, but I don't know. There's nothing you can do. It's like unjustified heartbreak almost, because if you have a long relationship with someone and then you break up, everyone's like, oh my gosh, are you doing okay? And like how are you doing? You know, it's like you can be sad and you can be all upset and stuff, but if you almost have to grieve a relationship that you couldn't have. It's like the what could have been type of thing. And I think sometimes that can hurt a lot. If you're someone like me who has a lot of expectations or kind of daydreams a lot, I'm a big daydreamer. I have lots of like fantasies, and not in like a weird way always. But I definitely like romanticize what could be. And then when something gets in the way of that, it's really, really difficult and really upsetting, especially seeing that person happy with someone else is really hard. And it's okay for that to be really hard. And if you have to like take your time to grieve that relationship that could have been, I think that's totally valid and is okay. You know what I mean? It's easy to be like, why do I care about this so much? Like nothing even happened. But I don't know. Those things can hurt, and that's cool. That's chill. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's also emphasized with loneliness if you're lonely. Like me, I'm in a really freaking lonely phase right now. I don't know why. I was so content with being a single Pringle. Just kidding. That was the worst thing I've ever said. I regret saying single Pringle. I take it back. I was content being a single hound dog, single bachelor. But then suddenly I wasn't. And I don't know why. It sucks. Don't like being lonely. Not very fun. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But yeah. Being in love with someone who you can't have, or being in love with someone who's in love with someone else, whatever it is valid. And I'd say try to disconnect yourself from that person as hard as it is. It's easy to make excuses for why you can stay connected with that person, but it's really difficult, and it's going to be harder for you if you have to see that person continually and know that you can't be with them. You know? Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Okay. How to tell a guy, see, I have a lot of girl followers. How to tell a guy that I'm not interested. If you're not interested in a guy, can you just tell us? Honestly, it'll hurt. It might break our little hearts. But just be honest, because then two things. One, growth. You know, if I get told that like sorry, I'm not interested, or I don't like you. You know, it's like, it's hard, but whenever something hard happens, it leads to growth. So it leads to me becoming a better person, you know? And that's good for the guy that you're telling that you're not interested in. You know what I mean? Two, it allows to move on. I guess that kind of goes with number one. But move on to maybe finding someone else, or maybe being okay alone, being okay as a single Pringle. Sorry, I meant single bachelor. Yeah. What did I say? Yeah, just say, I'm not interested. I totally get that. It's definitely hard to say that. I've been there, you know, because all the ladies want me, dude. But I've done the thing where it's like, I feel like I'm showing that I don't like them. But I think you definitely, I don't know. It is. Ooh, that was a weird little stutter right there. It is hard because you don't know if they're legitimately interested. You don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I'm not interested when they aren't actually like into you. That's my biggest fear with it. But if they like ask you out or something or keep asking you out and you're like, no, just tell them you're straight up just not interested. So there's my advice. Advicer Luke. Call me Advicer Luke because that's what I am. Advicer Luke. How does one receive a glow up? I don't know. I would like to ask the same question. I feel like I've had a minor glow up. I'm ready for more glow up. Quarantine's really done something to me. Don't know if I would call it a glow up. I'd say it's a quarantine glow down. But I think a lot of it is how you hold yourself, confidence. I was playing Cards Against Humanity with some friends the other day, and there was a card that said unwarranted confidence, and they said that described me perfectly. And first of all, don't know how to take that. Secondly, true. I think I do have a lot of unwarranted confidence where I'm really good at seeming confident. I don't know. That's a really weird duality. Good word. Use that word. Great word. It's a really good duality. I am very confident, but I'm also very not. I don't know. It's kind of a basic character trope. It's like, everyone thinks I'm so confident, but I'm actually insecure. I feel bad for me. Basic character trope. I'm not going to do that, but I am. I don't know. What was the question? How to do a glow up? Yeah, confidence is huge. Clothes is huge, I'd say, but also how you wear clothes. You can wear anything as long as you're like comfortable in it. You know what I mean? That's something I've learned is like, if I just like, I got swagger, dude. Swagger with a hard R. I have it, and you just gotta swag. Is swag a word for like a way to walk? I feel like it was at some point. Swag. It almost sounds like sway. Wait, I'm gonna look it up. No, that is not a thing. Okay, my bad. Sorry. So embarrassing. But yeah, glow up. Clothes I think are a huge part. Confidence, big time. Rush. I don't know. I'm ready for more of a glow up. Not gonna lie. NGL, TBH, I got one question that was like, my family thinks my anxiety is just me asking for attention. What do I do? I would say for that, first of all, that sucks. I'm sorry. But secondly, it's going to be really hard to change their minds. That's just me being frank. Like a lot of times, if you're going to keep talking about it, they're just going to keep saying that it's just an attempt for attention. So, solution, find someone to talk to about it. If it's not your family, I know that can be hard, especially if you're really close to your family or whatever, or if you don't have a lot of people, but definitely try to find someone else to talk to. That way you can kind of vent it out and then you're good to go with your family, if that makes sense. I don't know. I know for me, I've really gotten over people who are constantly in a pool of self-pity where they're constantly like, this thing is so bad for me, let me complain about this thing, and let me tell you about like this thing, and I don't know, people who, kind of in a pool of self-pity. I get it to a certain extent. Like I complain, I complain a lot, let me tell you. So I know that I shouldn't be talking and it's kind of hypocritical, but I think there's a difference between lying in a pool of self-pity and, discussing your issues, looking for solutions. Do you know what I mean? There's people who are there to just like make you feel bad for them and then just like do nothing with it. And it's good. It's good to process emotion. When something bad happens, it's good to process emotion. But if you're constantly someone who is complaining about that and constantly using other people to make yourself feel good, I think sometimes that can become toxic. And I know for me, I was that person that got used a lot, I guess, or whatever. And I got really, really sick of complainers. And maybe that's not fair because a lot of people do have very justified things to complain about, and those feelings are valid, but it's also good to, I don't know. It's okay. This is something I've struggled with. It's okay to maybe not be perfectly okay on the inside, but also have lighthearted conversation. You know what I mean? I think that's okay. You don't constantly have to be so vulnerable about the deepest, darkest feelings that you have. It's good to be vulnerable, but I think life is also meant to have a lot of lighthearted jokes. Even when I've gone through the hardest parts of my life, or I've seen people go through the hardest parts of their lives, it's usually surrounded by people making jokes. You know what I mean? And I think that's a special bond that people have when someone's grieving the loss of a relationship, grieving the loss of a person, a pet, whatever it is. When someone's grieving and their friends are able to make jokes, maybe not super harsh jokes, obviously, but make jokes and cheer them up, I think that's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a balance between self-pity and maybe setting that aside to just laugh. I think it's a balance. So you don't want to constantly be vulnerable, pouring out all your feelings, all this deepest, darkest stuff, but you also don't want to constantly cover all of those feelings up with a face that's constantly laughing and happy. So it's a balance. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Balance is cool. Tightrope, walk it. I can't think of any other analogies, but yeah. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I hope that didn't come off as me invalidating feelings. That's not what it is. I think there's a balance to be had. You know what I mean? But that had nothing to do with the question, because the question asked was, what do I do if my family thinks my anxiety is just an appeal for attention or whatever? Yeah, find someone else to talk to outside of your family. I think that's super duper important to continue talking about it. But then maybe with your family, maybe you just, I don't know. It sounds really bummer. Maybe you just can't really talk about it, or can't talk about it yet. Maybe they don't understand yet. Maybe because you're processing those feelings with someone else, maybe with your family, you can go in with a really level head and explain anxiety and explain that without specifically explaining your feelings. Does that make any sense? I feel like this is not something I am equipped to give advice on, which could be said about all of these questions. Okay, I think I'm moving on to the last advice question. I've been filming for 50 minutes. Hopefully I'm still filming. Did I start filming? Okay, so maybe it stopped filming at some point. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Camera died out. I think I had some pretty good things to say, so I might just put some random B-roll over it, and I hope you don't hate me for that. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Okay, moving on to the last piece of advice, the last question that I'm going to talk about. Tips for high school. I feel like this could be a whole video. All of these could be whole videos where I talk about, because I love talking, if you didn't know. I love talking. But tips for high school. Number one tip, get involved. This is something I didn't take seriously for like the first 2 years of my high school experience, and it really messed things up. I didn't do a sport in high school, which was a big old fat old big mistake. I really, really regret that. I'm not the most athletic person, but I definitely could have gotten by doing some sort of sports, and it really messed things up for me. I really do regret not doing a sport, especially because I didn't have a lot of other places to make friends. My freshman year, I was the mascot for PE credits. Very cool. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Who knows? Sophomore year, I did a thing called surf PE. That's right. My school has surf PE. Not even surf team. You don't have to be good at surfing. I'm not. But we would go down to the beach for 0 period and go in the water and surf. Attempt to, at least. Anyway, the way I got involved this year, I started doing ASB, which is like our leadership. I don't know if every school calls it ASB, but I got involved in ASB, and that did 2 things. 1, I made a lot of new friends and new connections, and 2, I developed videography skills. Videography. I hate that word. Videography. Oh, maybe it is just videographer. No. Okay, that's why I hated it, because I said it wrong. Videography. No, it's videography. Oh, now it's the whole fork thing. If you say fork, like fork. Yeah, it sounds weird. Anyway, yeah, I started to develop skills in videography. Oh my gosh, I cannot do this. I started using a camera, and that also helped me make TikToks, which also led to TikTok stuff. Very cool, very fun. More YouTube stuff, even though I haven't been posting on my YouTube channel at all. But yeah, getting involved at school, doing something, clubs, band. Band is huge, choir, theater. Oh my gosh, theater kids they have such a close-knit community. I'm very jealous. I don't think I could handle being a theater kid, but I'm very envious of how close all of them are. They seem like they have a lot of fun, and that seems like a really cool high school experience. But yeah, biggest piece of advice, get involved. Okay, with getting involved, go to football games. Go to whatever your big sport is at your school, if it's football, basketball, track, cross country, water polo, cheerleading competitions, whatever it is, get involved, do it, go. It's scary, I know, but it'll so be worth it to just like meet lots of people from lots of different walks of life via high school, you know? Do you understand me? Do you hear me? That's my big piece of advice for high school. Don't be scared of academics. There's this thing that happened to me every year, and it's probably going to happen to me next year. But I would like go into a new school year, and anyone I knew who was like older, not everyone, there's specific people, and I thought this was not cool, but they would always be like, oh, this year is the hardest year. And I'd be like, well, I mean, I thought that last year, but then I got through this year pretty well. And then they're like, oh no, you have no idea. I got through that year too, but this one was tough. This class, really tough. You probably shouldn't even be taking it. You can't even handle it, probably. I had a lot of people do that to me, like, every single year, and I made it through every year, you know? It's this thing where I would get, like, really nervous about it, and, like, the first day of school, the teachers are like, this is a tough class. But then it's like, no, it's just another class in high school. I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna, figure out a way to get my homework done and stuff. But yeah, that's another like general piece of advice for high school. You're gonna get stressed out and think that, I don't know, I've definitely had academically caused panic attack type things where all of the stuff seems like it's building up and you're like, and you get the feeling in your stomach and stuff, and you, I don't know, you have to play some vibey music to calm down. But with that, it's like teachers are a lot more understanding than you think. I love teachers. I haven't always loved teachers, and I know it's annoying to like teachers. I get it, whatever, say what you want. There's plenty of teachers I don't like. But I just really like talking to teachers like they're people, which I know that sounds like obvious, but a lot of people treat teachers like they're this like weird, like almost alien type of thing where it's like a teacher, like so distant or whatever. But teachers are just like human beings, and they like, I don't know, just like talk to teachers. I love making jokes with teachers and like being annoying to teachers. I have like, it depends on the teacher, I guess. But in general, I have like very little filter with teachers where I just like say whatever I'm thinking, and I don't kiss up. That's annoying. I don't think I'm a kiss up. I could be seen that way. I don't really care. But just communicate with your teachers a lot. They'll see you if you're putting in your best effort. They really recognize that, and that's all that matters. Sometimes you'll get a bad teacher who's just a bad person. What can you do? I don't know. High school tips. You're welcome. I hope that was helpful. But high schools can be really fun if you make it. If you make it that way. I'm very nervous for next year. I don't know what next year will look like for me. I don't know if I'm going to have friends. I don't know if I'm going to go do things that are fun. I might be eating lunch in my car alone. Who knows? I'm nervous, but I'm aware that I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, that's high school. That's also my last piece of advice that I'm giving, my super qualified, super good advice. But yeah, I hope this video was cool. I hope it's really long, like a podcast. I love a good long podcast. If you found this interesting, again, if you liked this format, I want to start a podcast. So if you tell me to, I might just do it. I don't know how. I don't know how to go about that. I'll do some research. But this was really, really fun for me. This is like therapy for me. I'm a verbal processor. So I like to just talk with no purpose, because then I find out things that I didn't even know that I knew because I just talk about them. That's why I talk so much, because I learn from my own words. That's kind of a douchey thing to say, but it's true. I learn from what I say, because I'm super... Oh my gosh, my dog is freaking out right now. She just had like a stroke. Not really, but she was like twitching all crazy. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Anyway, this video is over. I don't know. That was my advice. Oh my gosh, I never talked about my freaking toenail falling off. It's like starting to fall off. I'm not going to show you up close because that's gross. And also, if you want free pics, you have to pay me. But yeah, my toenail's falling off. That's all I have to say. My name's Luke. And so I never ate my sandwich. That's really awkward. It's just like sitting here. I feel like I've had a really hard time having an appetite lately, which is weird because I'm a big boy. Okay, sorry. I'll shut up. Shaka rocker peace. Shaka rocker peace. Shaka rocker peace. I remember there was a time when I was doing Shaka rocker peace, and people were like, Luke, don't mess that up. You're going to like do a bad thing. And I was like, what could I possibly do? And then I realized they think I'm going to do the middle finger, but it's just one movement for me. It's just like a flow. You have to feel the chi energy flow. I just finished Avatar: The Last Airbender today. It was fantastic. I love that show. It's my childhood, and it was very fun to watch it now. It's still fantastic. Okay, I'm turning off the camera.